Я подтверждение ситуации передаю настройку. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, AK heads, the time has come, the moment you've been waiting for. We are back with Season 2 of the Talking Lead AK Corner, presented by Sentry Arms, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! Yeah! And in the house, as you might expect, we have Sentry Arms. We've got Adam.
How's it going?
We've got Andrew.
Howdy.
Also known as Drew.
Sometimes.
I call you Drew all the time.
Yeah.
And we're on location doing this one. We're at Royal Range USA in Nashville, Tennessee. And we've got our good buddy Art Kaysen with Royal Range USA.
Glad to be here. Music City, USA.
There you go, that too.
One of the best towns in this country, I swear. It's amazing.
Party.
If you could die in any town, which town would it be?
If I could die in it,
Yeah.
it would probably be Nashville.
Probably.
I'd rather live in it and then maybe die in it, but yeah.
So we're doing it up for our first episode of Season 2 here for the AK Corner. What we want to talk about is Sentry Arms to start off. A great company. They're bringing a lot of the AK innovation, U.S.-made AKs to America. So let's talk about that. Let's get into it right away.
Yeah, no, that's great. Let's just go ahead and talk about the Visca.
I'm going to take your phone away from you.
I mean, I think that's the natural place to start right now. With so if you haven't seen it, I think most of you guys who listen to the AK Corner are probably already aware of the gun. But the VSKA is our new U.S. manufactured AK rifle offered from Sentry Arms. We came out with it about a year ago now. It's been out for almost a full year. It's been doing fantastic. We're getting tons of great feedback on the gun. It's got that good classic look, wood furniture. It's got the flat finish, more of the park style finish, and it's really the classic AK. And it's been doing very
beautiful,
very well for us.
Beautiful wood furniture.
It really pays homage to the classical AK, the good lines, the good wood. It is
now,
what it's supposed to be.
This was your replacement for the
RAS 47.
The RAS 47, right?
And
which had it had a good run.
Yeah, it was what it was, and I'll tell you this. And one of the things I've learned from being in this industry for a while now and having a lot of experience with the AK line is, the whole adage is you can't break the AK. Well, as hard as it is to break the AK, it's even harder to build the AK right the first time. And every company from an American manufacturer that started out trying to build an AK from scratch has had issues. And that's not an excuse. That's not an explanation. What that is just the facts. And the sign of a good company and the sign of a good AK is those that keep going back to the drawing board and keep making it better.
Improving.
Exactly.
Innovating.
And that's that's what Sentry Arms has done. That's what American culture is. That's what the American workforce is. We don't give up. We keep fighting, and eventually we come out with the best damn thing in the world at whatever we're focusing on. And that's
right.
our goal as Sentry Arms, is to have the best damn AK this world's ever seen. And that's a lofty task. I mean, that's
high goals.
But,
high goals.
But you know what? That's what we're going to do, and that's what we've started the process of doing with the Visca. And, I mean, Andrew was on the tear of about to tell all the amazing components that the Visca has now.
Let him off the chain.
Yeah.
Let him off the chain.
So Andrew, Drew, whatever, what is a Visca?
So, obviously, we've been making AKs for a long time, importing AKs for even longer.
Yeah.
Over 65 years, Sentry Arms has been in the import business. So we've seen every kind of AK variant, type, parts, kit, pieces that you can even imagine. And taking all that information, building a gun, working on it, keep going. We decided with the Visca, we actually started development of it with DoD for a specific contract, and then we just carried it over to our actual commercial line. But what we're using is on the front sight block and trunnion, we're actually machining them out of solid blocks of S7 tool steel. The bolt carriers as well as also S7 tool steel. They make chisel points out of S7 tool steel. A big component, very durable. But the second component of that is having a proper heat treat.
Yeah.
So we've been through a lot of different processes. We've used different processes as a lot of other companies have, and we narrowed down onto the best process that we could come across for heat treat.
Yeah.
The guns are just really, really durable. We've done some torture tests on the Visca, in some seriously excessive rounds. I mean, we've got over 6,000 through Lefties, honestly. I've got probably 75 to 8,000 out of mine right now.
Yeah.
I've sent it out a couple times, so I don't know exactly how many times it was shot when it went out, but for demos and stuff. But it's definitely well over 6,000.
Good and broke in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the durability is fantastic. Again, I love that we went back to the classic finish, that classic parked finish that looks just really good. Also went with the darker
Nice wood.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
darker wood just looks so much better. So just just appearance of it's better, but internally it is better. It is stronger. The $1 million man, we can build him. But yeah, so we've definitely been really happy.
These are stamped.
Yep, absolutely stamped
These are
receiver guns.
stamped. Now, you guys go back to season 1, and we got into stamped versus the milled, and talked about that.
I think when I was on with CJ, we talked about that, didn't we?
Well, we talked on a couple of different episodes in season 1, and I kind of like to get everybody's take on what they feel about a stamp, what they feel about a milled, and I was pretty much getting the same from everybody.
Yeah,
it was pretty consistent.
Which we also manufacture a U.S. manufactured milled receiver gun, the C39V2, which we've been making for a very long time. We still manufacture that gun. We still have fans that love the milled receiver guns, and both milled has advantages and disadvantages, as does stamped. So
yeah, now, you guys are probably the largest producer of AKs in the United States.
Hands down.
Hands down. You guys move the most. You got the biggest quantity. We talked about the Visca, talked about the C39 V2. What other lines of AKs do you guys carry? I mean,
we import all the Romanian product.
Well,
into
just
the US.
just the ones that you're making in America.
The manufacturer, that's the only two we manufacture in the U.S. are the Visca and then versions of the C39 V2 and the U.S. Draco.
All right, so talk about the versions that you have. You got pistol.
Yeah, that's a long list. We don't have enough show for that.
Oh, we got plenty of show.
But we've got
So we've got that we make. I mean, obviously the VSKA. Then we have the U.S. Draco, which is a full-size Draco pistol, but manufactured in the U.S.
Yeah.
Then we have that with braces. Mm-hmm. We have it without braces.
All right, so you got options.
We got it wood. We got it Magpul. We got it polymer stock. That's what we're saying. The list is very long.
Sure.
Then,
you got to go through all the different add-ons and accessories.
C39 V2s. We have pistol versions of that, rifle versions of that, walnut stock. We've got RH10s, which have the tactical gas block, which I know we did talk about that in your last year on the AK Corner. We talked about the different gas systems and gas blocks. Mm-hmm. So they've got the tactical style gas block, and we've got that in C39 V2. We got it in pistols. We just have a lot of options.
Right. Now, then your imports.
Yeah, then imports, obviously, the Romanian product that we bring in from Kujier, which is the full Draco line, also the Wazir 10, the Wazir 10 RH10. We also bring in the AES-10B, which is Romanian RPK, basically.
Okay.
It's very popular, and we also bring in the PSL.
Talk about the RPK for our new listeners that are just, this is an educational show.
Okay,
so
yeah, absolutely. So
let's not assume everybody knows everything.
Yeah, so an RPK is a variant of an AK-47, but it's a long, heavy-barreled machine gun version. So as like a U.S. troop would carry a Psl Rifle, some of our comm block, folks, they carried RPKs.
Right.
So that's where you're gonna come to the difference between kind of just for our listeners who are more familiar with the American style. So that's a heavy like a squad automatic rifle, but for
that was a very good analogy.
Yeah. Thanks, Marty.
I like that.
Appreciate it. You're very rarely that nice to me.
that was a good. It was. Even I could relate to that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are y'all going to hold hands the rest of the show?
We might.
Is this about AKs or y'all's man crushes?
It's whatever we want it to be.
Me and
whatever
Marty,
it evolves.
Don't be jealous that me and Marty are BFF.
Now, Art, if you've got comments, chime in.
Do you have comments about their BFFness?
Well,
I
don't have any firsthand knowledge, thank goodness, about that. But they do seem to, have some things in common.
We click.
Yeah. There's magic. There's magic there. I can see it.
But you and I drink White Claws together.
That's true.
That's different.
They do.
It's a different kind of
they actually do that.
And moving back to AK.
So of course the AS-10B, then the PSL rifle, which has been super, super exciting for us this year. We imported surplus PSLs for years. They did great. I mean,
talk about what the PSL is.
So PSL is a long-range precision rifle. A lot of people think they're Dragunovs or Dragons from China. They're actually a different style rifle. They're more like a big AK.
Yeah, but they have that look to
They
them.
do look very similar to that, but it was some of the other comm blocks, the Romanians, a lot of the Middle Eastern folks use more of a PSL type rifle, not necessarily a Dragunov. But they've been gone for years and years. There haven't been any on the market. Our folks overseas did a really, really good job working with Crugier and basically convinced them to dust off the tooling and make them again.
Yeah.
So we started bringing in brand new manufactured PSLs the beginning of this year, and they've been doing really, really well for us.
Yeah, they look great. Yeah, I've seen
They're
them on
just
your
cool.
website.
They really are.
Yeah.
It's just got that cool sizzle look
They
to
do.
them.
I want to take one deer hunting.
Yeah, so
I do too. And 54R will knock a deer down.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
PSLs, so for some of the listeners that don't know, they don't shoot the standard 7.62 by 39 that your AKs shoot. They shoot a much larger round called the 7.62 54R. It's a rimmed round. And a cool just little fact for all your AK Corner guys, it's actually the longest running military cartridge in history. They've been using that since before World War I and is still currently used by militaries today all over the world. So it's pretty cool, interesting round.
And for as big and kind of intimidating as the round looks, in the PSL, all the adages they've done to that PSL, it minimal recoil at best. I mean, literally, you could almost rapid fire on that thing and stay on target. It's such minimal recoil.
Nice.
It's unbelievable.
I'm looking forward to shooting that one.
It's a really fun gun to shoot.
It's going to be fun.
So we've done really, really well with that one this year. And then, of course, all the different variants when you get into the Romanian product. You know, we've got different stocks. We've got, the pistols with braces, pistols without braces, 3 different size Dracos, which are hugely popular. We do really well with that. And then just kind of on the last one, the MAC-9X, which we had a lot of fun with today.
Thanks to Royal Range, and their little modification they made to it.
Yeah, it's one of our most popular platforms that we have in our rental section for our parties, for our corporate team building. Right. It's been a fantastic platform for us. Super uber dependable.
Yeah. So what it is, it's an AK variant in 9mm. It uses standard Glock 9mm mags. So it's super easy to shoot. It's a powder puff, real easy to shoot. Will pretty much run any kind of ammo you put in it. Very accurate and very, very minimal recoil. It's honestly just everybody shot it that's here at the table today. It's a blast to shoot.
Yeah, it really is. And it's one of those ones that you can feel confident, especially if somebody's the first time they're going to experience a full auto. I imagine that's why it's so popular.
Oh, they love that.
You get the sensation of it. You get the thrill of it. You turn around with a grin on your face no matter how many times you shot it. But
easily controllable.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about somebody completely riding it into the ceiling and making range snow, as we like to call it. Range snow is bad.
Well, the 9mm subgun is really popular when we're doing our parties and so forth. And, of course, our go-to back in the day was the MP5. And we've got tons of those, and then they're great guns. But the popularity of the variant that we're using right now, and of course, the guys, we have a license, and we modify most of all of our things for fully automatic, and we shoot the crap out of it. And that particular platform has probably got 30, 40,000, maybe more rounds on it. And we don't have the opportunity to clean like you would think we should, because usually we may have to go 5 or 6 days, and we'll have hundreds of shooters, and then we'll get a chance to clean it.
Hundreds of shooters at 20 to 30 rounds a shooter, if you think about it.
Well, sometimes they want to do 4, 5, 6 mags, so we're talking thousands of rounds, and it functions because we've got to function. We're in business to make money with these things, and they work, and we love it. And when somebody shoots it, you just look at their face. They're like, oh, my God. The reaction they get, because it's got that classic kind of sound of the bolt of the AK, but you're shooting 9mm, so it's manageable. They can do the recoil management right, and they have a successful time with it. And then, of course, when we take that, then we take it up to one of the modified AKs that are fully auto, kind of the next growth period, get them comfortable on the 9mm, then take them up to the 7.62 by 39, and then it just their head explodes, absolutely explodes.
And I think that's really, we get so focused on the traditional torture tests that are dragging it behind a truck, dunking it in the mud, doing push-ups on it, all these silly things.
Dropping it.
But let's be honest, the real ultimate torture test is, can the thing keep running? And like you say, 40 to 50,000 rounds through a MAC-9X, to me, as the marketing guy for Sentry, to Andrew as the guy that's got to look another man in the face and sell him something that then he is hoping lasts. That's the best testament ever, that a gun has 40 to 50,000 rounds.
Where's the knack from?
Romania. Crugier manufactures it.
Okay, so
it's Romanian. Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's one of the biggest testimonies I could ever think is really stands the weight of time, is we've had this gun. We take care of it like we should take care of a gun, but sometimes, it has to endure some toughness,
Oh, yeah.
and it keeps going.
I've got the record here. I've set 3 AKs on fire.
Are you serious?
Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, not just smoked, but set the 4 ends on fire.
Wow.
And they kept going and going. They made me
I hope
put
you got
them.
video of that.
They made me put them out.
Oh, yeah.
But they kept going. And believe me, if it can be tore up, if it can be broken, we break it. Doesn't matter if it's a Modus, an
Oh, yeah.
M60 or whatever, we break them. And the AK platform, it's almost impossible for us to break by shooting.
Yeah.
We haven't really had any issues. Now, every once in a while, we'll blow a top cover off. We may fracture a bolt. But when I'm talking not only tens of thousands, but I'm talking hundreds of thousands of rounds, because we're in the business of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the same thing overseas when I was over there with the platform, and we used a lot of your products over there under contract.
And that's going to be our main topic of the show. We're going to get with Art, and he's got a lot of experience training troops overseas with the AK. So that's something that we're going to get into. But back to the line.
Yeah, and there's
Sentry
I
Arms.
think Andrew's covered it really well, and there's one more gun that I'm going to mention, and I'm going to mention it very briefly because I think in time it can be its own show in itself.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, we released a line called the Wasser 3. And the Wasser 3 was a AK chambered in 5.56.
Okay.
And it took a proprietary magazine, it fed it. And needless to say, it was very well received, but it didn't have, just as everything has their time and place. It went well, but it didn't have
It's the
such a time.
timing.
It didn't have such a time and place that we said, okay, this is something that has to stay in production.
Yeah.
So it faded away. Well, over the last couple of years, there's become a huge demand for an AK chambered in 5.56, just as there was a demand at a point for an AR chambered in 7.62 by 39.
Right.
That's what it is. People are team AR or team AK. And that's why we've really embraced the whole team AK. We are an AK manufacturer. We're not out there trying to make a bunch of ARs. We're not out there trying to do all these things that aren't what we're good at. We're going to stay in our wheelhouse, and we're going to be the best at it. So we released some Instagram pictures of some very new-looking Wasser 3s.
Okay.
And let's just say...
And those are out now. The pictures?
The pictures are online.
Okay.
And they're, let's just say I've heard that when I held them in my hands and shot them, they're very fun to shoot.
Okay.
And we're working on when would be the great time to
release.
perhaps put those out to sale.
Maybe
Thinking
you need
2020 would be a good time to do that.
Maybe you need to come back. Let me legally modify one, and let's see if we can catch it on fire.
Hypothetically, that sounds like a fantastic torture test.
If we're talking fantasies,
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
why not?
We're in the business of making fantasies come true, Art.
Yeah, we're changing lives
That's
today
right.
and every day.
That's right. So guys, as you're listening to this, guys and gals, as you're listening to this, you probably got questions coming up. Email those to us at talkingled@gmail.com. Talkingled AK Corner, put AK Corner something in the subject like that, and we'll make sure that we get your questions answered. But this is going to be a great season 2. We're going to do 12 episodes. This is our first episode, so we got a lot of good content coming your way. But just like I did last season, you guys have suggestions on guests, on topics, and things like that you want us to talk about, what you want to hear. Send those to us, talkingled@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to get that covered. But we went over a whole lot in season 1. We covered a lot of territory in season 1, and some of that stuff we could dive into a little bit deeper this season, and we're going to do that. I know one of the big things that you guys wanted us to talk about were suppressing AK-47s. So that's going to be a topic that we're going to have on. That's probably my phone.
First day doing a show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the ambient noise.
Okay.
Yeah. It adds to it. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to get some experts on. We got a couple people in mind. Andrew and I have been talking. We're going to have a good show on that, and we'll probably delve into a little bit more of the history. We want to talk more comm block guns too, not just AK-47s. And you guys have a great surplus department. I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah, we have an amazing surplus team that has
Okay.
amazing finds all the time, cool stuff. And not only do we have an amazing surplus team, but what we always need to keep in mind when we're having these conversations is the AK it's so much more than just the gun. It's what kind of ammo should you run? What kind of magazine should you run? And that's something that's...
Furniture. I mean, people need to get
the
into
Sentry
the
line, or the Sentry umbrella has had the opportunity over the last couple of years to really embrace that. And they have the Red Army Standard line.
Of ammo.
So we got some amazing ammo out there, which has grown in terms of the cult following, in terms of our Red Army ammo line, and some of the other subsidiaries we're bringing in. We've got some really special things coming up with that are going to really make it a lot more affordable to go shooting. So I can tease with that. And then something else, by the time this airs, it's going to be public knowledge that U.S. Palm, the infamous U.S. Palm, is back.
It's back, and we've already dropped it. It's already out there.
It's already out there.
The episode before this one,
we talked about it. We hinted on it. And the great thing about U.S. Palm being back is it's not back and different. We spent a year making sure that not only were we bringing it back and paying it the homage that it deserves, but that we didn't change something that wasn't broken.
Yeah. And these are magazines. These are AK magazines that U.S. Palm's making, guys.
AK magazines, AK grips.
We got some furniture as well.
Amazing. And it's literally been one of the most amazing grips that's been over and over supported by industry professionals.
Now,
and
I can personally
experts.
attest to the U.S. Palm magazines. In my short time with the AK, that was the whole point of me starting this series, was to learn more about the AKs personally. So I thought it'd be a great journey to bring my listeners along with me. And I found that so far that U.S. Palm magazine is my favorite. And across all platforms of AKs.
Marty heisted those U.S. Palm magazines from me, by the way, just so everyone knows. Those were fully heisted.
That's how I came across those, yeah.
Well, those are the best ones.
Borrow, steal, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mainly steel.
Yeah. Mainly steel when it comes to Andrew.
Well, you had to for U.S. Palm mags. No one's had them in years.
There's actually some online right now. We saw it the other day that somebody, one of the online retailers, sent out an email. I guess they just didn't know. And this is probably less than a month ago. Sent an email. We're selling U.S. Palm mags for $99.99 a magazine. And the title was Last U.S. Palm mags ever.
Ever.
Yeah. And they sold out in 2 hours.
Well, I guess when you make a buying scare, that's what people do.
It's remember when a regular PMag and all these other things were $99, when a regular AR magazine during the craziness, and then 7 months later you were like, I made a terrible mistake.
I fell for it.
Imagine the guy that just bought those last 4 U.S. Palm mags at $99.
What an idiot!
Yeah, so that's going to be something that we're really excited about.
And for those who the U.S. Palm, it's the waffle cone.
It's
got that great waffle cone on it.
That waffle
That's what
cone
happens
pattern.
when you had a couple cocktails the night before and you have to do an interview at 8 o'clock in the morning when it's snowing in the mountains of Idaho. You accidentally call the waffle pattern the waffle cone.
The waffle cone.
Yeah.
Adam did that.
I did that.
I'm calling him out right here.
Industry professional right here. Yeah.
But that's coming back now. You guys are bringing the U.S. Palm magazine and furniture.
The U.S. Palm brand as a whole, and we're going to keep it with the same edge. I'll tell you, it's nice to be able to work with a company that started grassroots and had an edge, and now from a bigger side, we're a larger business, to be able to support it with all the good things that come with having a little bit more of a strength as an industry. As a corporate partner, you have that edge and the commitment to excellence that you have when everybody's personally touching every product. Right. But then you also have the backing to say, hey, this has a lifetime warranty. Hey, this has customer service support 24 hours. Like, hey, this has this is in the marketing to truly grow the brand. That's what we're excited about bringing to it. Not changing the product, but just building an already proven brand.
Yeah.
And just one other thing I want to mention about it, too.
Okay.
Just so people know, I've been in the AK community for a long time and obviously have a lot of respect for U.S. Palm. I've been running their mags since they were making them. And not only we didn't just go out and buy a company and just take their design. We have the guys from U.S. Palm are on our team now.
You got the crew.
Yeah, I just want to let listeners understand that we didn't just go out and just buy somebody's patent.
Yeah,
like we bought the company and we brought them with us. So we still have the original guys, working with us on this project. So
nice
to keep it. We're going to keep it the original thing, the original edge. What they were doing. When they were in business.
Yeah.
So that's going to continue to go forward.
So you guys are building the family under the Sentry Arms brand. You've got we talked about the Canic, talked about Red Army Standard, talked about U.S. Palm. Is there another one we're missing here? Is that all?
No, I think that's a fantastic coverage right now.
now?
For what's relevant, obviously, Sentry also works with, a number of partners across the world to do amazing things. And we have amazing partners that we team up with to bring more accessories. But our umbrella is definitely Sentry Arms, Canic, Red Army Standard, and U.S. Palm.
And when we got into all that, I was talking about your surplus. You're bringing in certain. We didn't really talk about what you're bringing in with that. I mean, it's not like something in particular. It's like you guys find a great deal somewhere on something, and then boom,
you never know.
Talk about the Jericho. I mean,
you just never know what our surplus guys. We have guys all over the world.
Boatload of Jerichos the other day.
I mean, we have guys all over the world that are looking for surplus all the time, and we bring in stuff from Smith & Wesson revolvers, Jericho pistols from Israel, from Ishapur Brick 303 drill rifles to containers filled with 8mm.
That was
from
a good
cave in
story
Egypt.
about those drill rifles.
Yeah,
you want to tell that story real quick?
This is the AK corner, Marty.
But no, we're talking we're doing comm block and everything, So
this isn't comm block, but it's British 303s, Ishapur, so Indian manufactured British 303s. We purchased a company that was going out of business, and one of the many things we found there was a whole bunch of really, really, they're cool. I mean, they're super cool. British 303 Ishapur, I guess they're Mark 3, Mark 4s, Mark 4s, yeah. But they're demilled drill rifles, so they've got the cool paint on them. I mean, it just looks super legit.
They've been made inoperable.
Yeah, they've been made inoperable, but they're super legit, super cool, and just. I mean, we had a bunch of grenade launchers that go with them, spike bayonets. Cool thing about just side note, those grenade launchers with 303 blanks can shoot tennis balls out of them. They fit tennis balls perfectly.
Okay, so they'll still work.
We do not say that you should do that. No, Sentry Arms by no means.
You're not condoning that.
Condones that use of that.
Can we just have a pre-recorded disclaimer you just plug in there every time
Andrew talks?
We need to. We need to.
Pretty much, but yes, but by no means do we encourage that or say that that's possible. But if you look on YouTube, there are people
those
doing
will make like cool wall art kind of things, cool gifts.
Exactly. Yeah. So
you never know what's going to happen
and you never know what's going to happen coming forward, and that's amazing.
But you're going to hear it here on the Talking Lead AK Corner. We're going to keep you guys posted, keep you in the know.
Yeah, exactly. And
so you can take advantage of things like that.
It is, and it's all driven, but it's all driven, and we got to stay true to what we're at, and that's our wheelhouse, and it's all driven by the AK. And that's why we were so honored to be a part of your broadcast. We've been a big supporter of yours on the Talking Lead side and all the amazing lead heads that have shown us support over the years. So when there was an opportunity to be a part of AK Corner, it was a no-brainer. And that's why not only do we want to support you and be a part of it, but we want to support your listeners. And that's why, obviously, we're committed, and we're going to give something away from one of our 3 amazing brands that are associated with AK and AK-related parts every single show.
All 12 episodes, so stand by.
And so, I mean, what a great transition to talk about the AK. And so anytime we have the chance to pick somebody's brain that has an
first-hand
amazing view,
experience,
not
especially
only
combat experience.
With the AK.
What a time to be alive.
Right?
What a time to be alive.
So
fantastic.
Art with Royal Range. Art, you've been on the show before, and I don't think we've really gotten in deep on your background on, where you come from. So why don't we educate our listeners on your expertise here, your history?
It's a lot like Davy Crockett, from the hills of Tennessee. But no, seriously, raised a country boy, joined the Army fairly early, was a grunt infantry guy during the Cold War.
Yeah.
Had the opportunity to learn about comm block weapons then. Used to be part of the curriculum at Fort Benning. That you would learn that. You'd do some familial with the RPG, GP25, AK.
Learn
AMDs.
your enemy's weapon.
Yeah, I remember one of the first things that happened to me down there when we were doing that. They had a guy dressed up as a Russian officer that came out and started screaming at us.
Did he do it in an accent?
Well, yeah, pretty much. It was great. But, me being from, right there on the Tennessee-Kentucky border, I didn't know. I grew up watching Hogan's Heroes. So you could fool me about an accent real quick.
Right.
So, I did that for a while, got out, got into law enforcement, retired out of law enforcement with emphasis on SWAT and K-9. Then after that, I went overseas and did almost 10 years overseas doing contracting. And so basically, just selling my talents for the government.
Right.
And had the opportunity, to engage the AK platform again, the comm block, And I was fortunate enough, my first 2 years contracting, I was working for the State Department in an academy in Afghanistan in the Hindu Kush. And we taught the AK-47, we taught the GP-25, we taught the RPG. And we would basically have an 8 to 10 week academy for the Afghan Border Patrol, for the Afghan National Police, and we also ran iterations for ANCOP, which ANCOP is the Afghan National Civil Order Police. They're kind of version of FBI HRT. Mm-hmm. So we would train these guys up. We'd issue them, a certain billet. Normally on a basic academy, we would issue up to 400 AKs per iteration, along with, some belt-fed PKM, sometimes the RPD. We also trained them up. I certified them on the Dishka. So I've got a real good appreciation.
Now tell us what a Dishka is.
It's just a big anti-aircraft gun. It's really cool. You watch, was it Rambo 3? You see him having to deal with a Dishka.
Is that the big helicopter one?
Well, that's the Hind D. But it's got a similar type of weapon on that.
Gotcha.
So like when I made that comparison earlier, it would be their Maldus.
Absolutely. They're Maldus. They're 50 cal. And so did a couple years doing that. And then I went to Iraq, and in Iraq I was involved with what's called PSD, so personal security detail. Mm-hmm. And because I already had a background as an instructor, I was able to instruct what's called TCNs, which are third country nationals that were providing force protection. Some of them were static, meaning they were hobbits on the fob, and some of it was doing some outside the wire stuff. I think they called them fobbits back in the day.
Fobbits.
Yeah, fobbits. But I've been in and around the ComBlock weapon systems, the AKs, for a large part of my adult life. I have a great respect for them. Here at Royal Range, we have a nasty habit of taking anything and trying to convert it to fully automatic, and then we want to tear it up.
You've got it's a compulsion, I think.
It's a sickness, but we're working with it. We're thinking about doing
making
a coin.
the most of it. Yeah.
We're going to issue a coin for however many days we're doing good on it and stuff like that. Like a step program, right?
Right. Yeah.
But huge respect for it. We carried a lot of the Wassers. We had a lot of our friends from Africa that would be guarding the DFACs or the chow halls and things like that. So I was responsible for a couple of years of certifying those guys, which was a challenge in itself. Of course, a lot of them are real familiar.
And
with
what goes into certifying when you're certifying?
Oh yeah, teach them the manual of arms, disassembly, the function, do malfunctions drill, and then get them to qual. Do a qualification course with that. So luckily,
how did they usually do on those?
Well, not like the memes you see on Facebook. They're not having the life vest on and shooting them upside down.
Upside down, yeah.
We did have some from Somalia that we had to break some of those habits from, but other than that, it's working really well. But when I went back to Afghanistan, we were very, very fortunate. We ended up with a couple of Afghani armorers, and these guys had been making 40, 50-year-old AKs work. And they may have been working for the other side, I don't know, but it's the contract world. And, basically these guys would get out there with their chai pot and, heat that up and get a couple of rocks, and they would make these AKs run and work.
You hear the stories about them making AK parts out of, railroad ties and stuff like that. And
it's ungodly how they're able to keep them running and how fantastic. We were doing a lot of ops out of armored trucks. And when we break armor, we wanted a truck gun that would work really good, a good short barrel truck gun. And at the time, we were running, some 14.5-inch M4 base, and which is fine. It's a great weapon. I love the AR, the M4. But one of my buddies, he's an AK nut. So he went to these guys and he said, "Hey, can you make me a 7.5-inch AK truck gun, fully automatic, that'll do what I need to do, so I can hang a wolf hook off my IBA and roll with it?" And these guys did that, and it was a really hot item. You made sure that you put your order in. You went up to Gardez City in the Hindu Kush and said, "Look, I want a 7.5-inch AK truck gun, and I want it to run, and I want it to be really a good 100-meter gun." And these guys could do that. And these were old stuff. A lot of them was AMD 65 they were using as the platform, and chopping off that really ugly muzzle device on the end and taking care of that wire stock and throwing it away.
Taking care of it.
And just making it work. So, and like I said earlier in the show, we run a lot of AK platforms here in our rental program. And when I say rental program, you can come in and rent off the street. If you're a visitor to Music City or you just want to try something new, But when I first came to work here, I had no idea that parties, who knew bachelor parties?
Parties.
With my background, come on,
What's the number one rule, guys?
Party.
Yeah.
And so these cats, they fly in from all over the world. Nashville is the number one location for bachelorette parties.
And I guarantee it'll quickly become the number one destination for bachelor parties
Yeah.
now, too.
It already
it's
has.
weird how that works, yeah.
Yeah, already has.
And so people, no matter where they're from the U.S., from our friends in Canada who can't shoot these things or own these things, or especially from Europe and Asia, they come in by the droves. And, the AK is one of the go-to.
That's the one they want to shoot, huh?
Well, yeah, because everybody knows the AK. It's one of the most well-known. The silhouette of the AK is known everywhere in the world. You see the silhouette, it's AK.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got almost the same recognition, of course, with the AR, because like you said, the AR world, AK world. It's a never-ending question. It's 45 9mm, right? That's a question going on forever.
Ford or your Chevy,
But the AK is fantastic. We love it. And if you can get a GP25, I'd love to get some chalk rounds and see what we can do with that one in a party situation.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
Party situation.
I'll be partying here a lot if you get one of those. We find you one of those.
There you go.
Now, in your time overseas, doing this training, tell us a story, a funny story. What's first thing comes to your mind? What stands out?
Well, I remember the first year I was in Afghanistan. We were at Fob Gardez, and Fob Gardez is on the opposite side of Gardez City, where Fob Thunder, Fob Lightning, and basically where Bergdahl walked off. I was on the opposite side of that city, and I didn't know it snowed like it snowed there. Me from Tennessee, we shut down and we go buy milk, bread, and eggs.
Beer.
Beer, yeah. When it just starts to snow a little bit. And so I had to run a range the very next day for some Afghanis and United States military personnel. I had no idea. It was 20 degrees below zero. 20 below zero. That's cold, guys, especially from Tennessee.
Really
I'm out.
cool.
I'm out.
And we had about 4 foot of snow, and luckily our crew had went out there with the snow plows and cleared our range, so we had enough lanes to shoot. I got this picture on Facebook, on my Facebook. And the M9 was failing on us, which, is the Beretta, because of the cold. We had a lot of problems with the AR, the M4. The AK, no issue. And one of the old hands there, what he had done, he had actually poured diesel.
Oh, shit.
On the AK, and he took a lighter and he lit it, and it kind of flamed up a little bit, and he kind of patted it out, and we were good to go.
It gets all the grease running.
And it worked, and it worked. Yeah, it's exactly what he
gets the
done.
grease running, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, oh my God, what's he doing? Because like I said, I was familiar with it, but I was an Afghani familiar until
Right.
then. Then you pour the diesel on.
So that was a good little tip trick.
Well,
to learn.
I'm proud to be an American, but I was like, daggum, the AK is running no matter what. And so then, that speaks a lot for itself.
Yeah,
You can't beat the things.
that's pretty cool. I'd like to have seen that. Now, have you done that here at the range? You poured diesel in there?
No, we've got lubricants. And,
I mean, at one of the bachelor parties or something like that.
They like to keep it above 20 below here in the range.
Yeah, we try to. We try to keep it a crisp 70 degrees on the
Nice
range.
70 year-round.
Nice 70 year-round, no matter what the weather is outside.
Yeah. Again, with your years of experience with the AK, what's the most common malfunction that you've run across?
Magazines and ammo. It's really not the platform itself. I mean, anything that's man-made at some point in time is going to have a malfunction. I don't want people to believe that the AK never breaks. But the majority of the malfunctions that I've seen with it are going to be mag-related, and then, of course, ammunition.
And those magazines are going to wear out long before any of the.
Well,
AKs
you get the
or
ammo
parts.
from some of the stands, Turkmenistan, Kurdistan, that's been in a cave forever and a day, and you've got some issues with the primer because it wasn't sealed.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have your malfunctions and so forth.
Yeah, the ammo or something.
And
like that.
for what it is and what you're trying to accomplish on the battlefield or on the security field, it doesn't have the tight tolerances, but that's the magic of the AK-47. It's going to run no matter what you do to it. No matter if you're from a third world country and you do not have cable TV or a nice cell phone, it's going to run. And the ease of the manual of arms of actually teaching it is really super.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they chose to stay with it. When we switched over to some of the Afghan national police and started giving them our old A2s, our old M16 A2s, it was a cluster. It was an absolute cluster because they had to have issues. Of course, now just about everything we gave them, it was a cluster, whether it was Humvees or what have you. But it wouldn't run as well because it would require a little bit more attention to detail. And it was a cultural thing over there also. You know, they were familiar with the AK, and field stripping it for some of them was non-existent.
Right.
You know, it's just like, James Yeager was talking earlier about
there's so
the
many
other
of
weapons
them.
we were talking about. You can run and run and run and run.
Yeah. But there's so many of them, if they had a problem, they just chuck it and then get another one, you know.
Yeah, but the thing that I've seen, especially in Afghanistan, is the way they like to personalize it. If you ever watched the old cowboy and Indian movies back in the day, when the Apache or the Comanche would sit there and they'd put the little brass studs or the silver on it. Some of the Afghanis, especially the Pashtun in the northern part, they would love to make sure that they're silver. So they take all the finish off, every bit of the finish off, and make it silver.
Make
and
it
then
shiny.
Jingle it up. That's what we used to call the trucks over and all that is jingle trucks. And so you jingle the
So they
AK
like to
up.
put little bling on their AK out there, huh?
It's primitive Magpul type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. Well, you know, we were actually talking earlier. There's a company here in the States that's gotten pretty popular for golding out AKs, you know, blinging them out. And, you know, people either love it or hate it. Some of the AK traditionalists may crucify me for this, but I think it just looks cool. I don't know if I'd take it into battle, but
hang it on a wall.
yeah, it's pretty daggone cool to look at a blinged out
That's
AK.
probably a good sign that theirs don't get taken out much. Is with all that blinging, it's more decoration than anything else. But
so I have a question. So
okay.
from a personal experience and the way you talked about that generally the issues are with the magazine or the ammo. Tell me though, from a component standpoint, I've watched, like you said, it's controlled chaos in an AK. It really is. If you ever watch it in slow-mo, if you get the opportunity as the listeners, check it out. It looks completely different if you see the slow-mo and internal of an AK being fired. When that explosion happens, it literally looks like every time it goes off, that gun should come flying apart. The metal expands, things are bouncing around.
It's kind of like a bumblebee. It's not supposed to fly, but it does.
Yeah, exactly. But so tell me, what about the AK makes it work? Why does that controlled chaos work? What are the internal components that really matter the most in your opinion? Because everybody talks about, is it the trunnion? Should it be forged? Should it be cast? Should it be this? Should it be that? In your opinion, from actually real world experience, what matters the most?
Just loading it up and shooting it, because really I think when you get into the nuanced things like trying to say, whether it's going to be the milled or it's going to be the stamped, that's kind of aesthetics is really what it is. If we really want to be truthful, it's going to work. And so I don't think you can really just tear it down to just one component that makes it. The beauty of it is the design and the loose tolerances that make it go.
That's a great answer. We were talking about, the people, they're making parts that are running consistently, that you were going and contracting them over there out of railroad ties and whatever metal they could find and stuff like that. It was a fact.
Well, I mean, look at it like this. What makes a Corvette an iconic U.S. sports car? What year? Is there one better than the other? Not really. It's a Corvette, and it's what it is. An AK is an AK, no matter the derivative. It's the operating system. It's the principle of it. It's the foundation. So we begin with the foundation of it, and there's going to be a little changes, a little modification, but it's still that foundation.
Well said.
I got a question for her too.
Okay.
So all the guns you shot, all the machine guns, all the years. Now I know there's no way that you haven't seen some terminal failures, some like really explosive, crazy stuff that's happened after. And we're talking, guns that are getting shot 40, 50, 60, 70,000 times. We're not talking about out of the box. Tell me like one crazy terminal failure you've seen.
One of the worst ones we've had recently, we blew in Ma Deuce up.
That's expensive.
That sounds cheap, yeah.
We actually blew the receiver right out, one of the side plates plumb off, and it was because of wear and tear.
Yeah.
Now, we have blown them off because we actually blew one up that it wasn't headspace properly.
Yeah.
One of our grunts told the other grunt, hey, it's good to go. So one was an 0311, which was Marine infantry, and the other one was a 11 Bravo. Hey, did you headspace? Yeah, I headspace it. And boom. But we've had a few things like that on the AK side. We got several crinks out there. I've blown the muzzle devices off of those things, but it keeps running.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really wild when that happened on an indoor range when the muzzle device on a crink blows off because the flame just increases. It's fantastic, is what it is.
I have a challenge for you. I've seen it online before. I just think it's amazing. I want to video you eventually. The next time you catch an AK on fire, you have to keep a cigar on standby.
And light it.
I want to see you light the cigar with the AK flame.
Would that not be
fire.
That's a Clint Eastwood moment right there.
I saw somebody light a cigarette one time. I seen a video where he
you got to do a cigar, yeah.
Yeah, but the cigar, and then you hand it to like the bachelor at the bachelor party.
Yeah.
That's a sign. Like that guy is not allowed to get divorced because he's never allowed to have another bachelor party because there will never be as badass of a moment.
You couldn't top that.
Yeah.
That would be
Hey,
awesome.
we'll try that.
I'll send you some extra wood furniture. Don't you worry.
I'll send you the cigar. Yeah.
All right, then. We'll do it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Roll Range USA, ladies and gentlemen. So, Art, again, I got one more question, and then we'll move on. We'll move on a little bit. I got some things I want to read here, and then we want to give away some stuff on the Talking Lead AK Corner. So you've got experience with ARs, you got experience with AKs, you got experience with a lot of different weapons and firearms.
That's how I got my job here.
Yeah. If shit hit the fan, which one are you choosing? What are you going with?
The first one
Any firearm.
The first one I can grab, either an AK or an AR. And I've got myself, I own several of all of them. And I wouldn't feel ill. My wife's German, and her favorite long gun, and she's got like 4 of these things, is an AK. And I'm telling you, that says a lot.
She's digging it.
If you know Germans and how they are, and she likes the other platforms, but the AK is her go-to.
She loves it, huh?
When she comes in here and I've got a new comm block type weapon, out comes a credit card. Out comes a credit card.
So she got a nice little collection of AKs. Is that what we're trying to say?
Absolutely. She keeps a count of a round count. I think the other day she told me, she said that she's getting low. She only has like 15,000 rounds.
Yeah.
Of 7.62 by 39. So yeah, I mean that's. I love the AK. I own the AK. We teach the AK here. We run classes with the AK. We encourage it. I wish we could see more. We do an urban rifle series here. And, it's basically any kind of rifle you want to carry, even if you want to carry a PCC, a pistol caliber carbine.
Yeah.
And we see AKs, but we don't see AKs in the numbers. And I wish there's something we could do about that.
Well, that's what we're trying to correct here on the Talking Lead AK Corner. It's bringing awareness to the rifle, to the AK, to the AK variants. And
well, I think for Tennessee, especially with our distances that we have around here, the AK and the 7.62 by 39, and especially what he's talking about on the 5.56, because I'm excited about that because we're getting one of those. We're going to convert it, and we're going to just see what the rate of fire is on it. And I think it'll probably be phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute phenomenal.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah, very good. All right, so I want to read this email real quick here.
Yeah, please.
And I got it on my phone up here. So this was sent a couple of months ago. It's from a listener called Shane. I'm not going to read his last name. And he says, "Hello, I just recently found your podcast, and I'm loving it. I first listened to the AK Corner Part 12, and now I'm going back and catching up on all the rest of the episodes that I have missed. Said, I heard some information that confused me, and I hope you can clarify it for me. On the first episode, the guy from Pioneer Arms said they purchased the Radom Circle 11 factory, patents and blueprints. He also said that they were the only one who sells to civilians from Radom. It's Radom, Poland. The other factory is for the military. Therefore, I was just wondering if they also own the FB Radom that sells through Atlantic Firearms and Arms of America. I thought they were two totally different companies, and FB Radom was using the Circle 11 logo. Any information would be greatly appreciated. Just trying to learn as much as I can about the wonderful AK. Thanks for the great episode so far. Can't wait to get caught up and hear more." So, as he found out and went and listened to more, we answered that question through through our other episodes there. So, and then he writes back, said, "Thanks. I already got because I just told him, I said, go back and listen to the previous episodes, and you'll get your answer. Because I wanted him to listen. I didn't want to give him the answer right then. He said, I already got all the episodes listened to, and probably jumped the gun on the questions because it did get cleared up after listening to the rest of the parts. Can't wait for next season. Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Season 2. We're kicking it off with this episode. But thanks for finding us, Shane. Make sure you tell all your friends to listen to the show. Not just the AK Corner, but our regular show as well. We talk about all kinds of cool stuff. But this show is just dedicated to the AK variants. And like I said, we're going to get into more comm block stuff this season as well. So something you want us to talk about, talkingthatgmail.com. We are at Royal Range today, and what brought us here was we were having a special event with Canic with their release of the TP9 Elite SC, the new subcompact 9mm. And we invited, it was really just set up for media, but we decided that it would be a good thing just to invite everybody, the public, and just have a good time with it. And Royal Range has done a great job in accommodating us and setting this up, letting us record the shows here today. And then we had some lead heads that stuck around and are listening to the show, and they're watching us right here in the audience out there. So yell out and let the audience know that you're really here. But thank you guys for coming out and supporting us, supporting the show, supporting Sentry Arms, supporting Canic. But thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate it.
And thank you, Art. You've been awesome.
I enjoyed it.
Every time I come to Royal Range, I get treated great. These folks here are awesome. If you guys are ever in Nashville, you're in Music City, you want to have a killer time, be treated nice, have a whole bunch of cool stuff to check out. They also have an incredible retail store if you're looking for any type of firearm. This is a great place to come. They've got great guys behind the counter. They've got great folks on the range. I can't say enough nice things about Royal Range, and we really appreciate your hospitality today, Art.
Oh, we appreciate everybody being here. We love doing things like this. And, when you said Officer Farva, I have a need for a liter of soda. Do you not?
A liter of cola.
A liter of cola. Yeah, cola.
No.
Eric loves cola.
And to show our appreciation for you guys coming out today.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is I want to make sure that these guys actually know how special they are. So we actually have some Red Army standard ammo that we're going to send home with these guys for paying attention and not getting too angry and annoyed with Marty and Andrew. And so we want to hook them up with some ammo. And if we're going to hook up with the guys that stop by, it's not fair that the listeners that are out there say, well, what about us? Yeah. I think what we want to do, if it's okay with you, is the very first giveaway. Yeah. It's got to be for somebody that loves AKs. And, Art just said so well, it all comes down to the ammo, the magazines and ammo. Yeah. So I think the very first prize we got to do, is some of our amazing Red Army standard ammo. So the winner of the first contest will receive 500 rounds of Red Army standard ammo.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
I think that's awesome.
So make sure when you do get it that it's not 450 rounds, because
it's got to be legal in your state to get.
It's got to be legal in your state, but Marty also, as we've established earlier in the show, will steal things. So make sure that Lefty didn't take your ammo, and it's again 500 rounds of Red Army standard ammo. So again, guys, thank you so much.
So next episode, we're going to get this is what we're giving away for the first giveaway, but we're going to give 2 away. That way we get called up. We're not behind. Right. So next episode, we'll be giving 2 things. We're not going to give away actually anything this episode, but we'll be giving 2 of you lead heads a giveaway next episode. And one of them is going to be the 500 rounds.
This will be the prize for this episode. Right. Yep. Exactly.
Very cool. All right, so another big thanks to Occam Defense. Occam Defense is one of our supporting sponsors of the AK Corner as well. This episode of the Talking Lead AK Corner, Season 2, is brought to you in part by Occam Defense. The guys at Occam love the AK, but didn't love burning their hands, getting cut by their pre-sharpened gun, or the lack of options for accessories. After spending a few years in the lab, they've recently released the ODS 1775, which brings the best of the AR family to the Kalashnikov's reliability. It's still an AK under the hood. AK mags, forged Polish AK parts, but with American aerospace manufacturing practices and ingenuity. Check them out at OccamDefense.com or on Instagram at Occam Defense Solutions. Your good buddy Brian Keeney over there at Occam Defense with the 1775. Those are out now. He's starting to crank those out. He had a little slower start than what he originally had wanted, but the 1775s are out, and if you got on the list to get those and took advantage of the discount as a lead head, if you haven't gotten it yet, it's going to be coming soon. Mine should be here soon as well. So once I get it, I'll be doing some shooting with it and videos, and you guys will see that. And Brian's going to be on the show, and we're going to talk about all the cool things that Occam Defense is doing as well. The cleaning kit that I got, Real Avid, has come out with some new AK cleaning kits and tools, and we're going to have them on. They're going to be talking about that. I've got those. I'm going to be breaking them out, doing some pictures and things like that with those as well. But all kinds of awesome companies coming over the next 12 episodes of the Talking Lead AK Corner Season 2, presented by Sentry Arms. Any parting words, guys?
No, just honored to be a part of it. Honored to continue to support Americans and their Second Amendment rights. Honored to have been able to host this event at Royal Range. What
about you, Drew?
Thanks for having me, Marty. Love being on the show. Glad that Sentry Arms got to partner up with you on the AK Corner this season. I'm super excited. I think we're going to have some great episodes, some good fun. Honestly, looking forward to getting on the show with some other AK nuts as well.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed doing the show last year. We got into some really cool, interesting conversations, and I hope just want to bring more information out there.
So you guys are going to be on every episode with me.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's part of it.
We're going to make it work, yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Adam and Drew, or Adam or Drew, one or the other, always going to be co-hosting with me.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
I'm going to see if Art will be my proxy.
We'd like to do more here at
we would
Royal
love
Range.
for you to do more here, and we appreciate the opportunity. Thank you guys for coming out. And whether you shop at Royal Range or wherever, get into the AK lifestyle. Check out Sentry Arms. It is a great product. You can't beat it. And let's also go ahead and put a pop out for Canic, because it's one of the best platforms out there. Quality, fit, finish, and price. You can't beat it.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to beat.
Well, thank you. It means
Thanks,
a lot.
Art.
Yeah.
So, guys, until next month, once a month, just any questions, any comments, again, talkinglead@gmail.com, AK Corner, and we'll take care of you.
Yeah, and any questions on our AKs, on the Sentry line, please feel free to email them. But also, if you want to find out some instant gratification and get some answers, you can go to SentryArms.com. Check us out. We've got all of our products listed, as well as some factual information about it. And you can, of course, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those social media platforms.
It's just Sentry Arms on Instagram, right?
Yep, it's Sentry Arms, and then it's on Facebook, it's Sentry Arms, Canic USA. And obviously, if we're plugging it, Red Army Standard, US Palm, and SentryArms.com, USPalm.com, RedArmyStandard.com.
And again, if you guys want to have a chance at these prizes, you got to be engaging with us on social media. You got to be sending the emails to me with your suggestions, your comments, your questions. So it's all about participation, and that's how we go about picking our winners. So until October? So next month, November 15th, we're going to start dropping them on the 15th hereafter, every month.
Absolutely.
Very good. Guys, thanks again. Appreciate it. Appreciate everything that you're doing for the show and for our lead heads.
Hey,
so
it's our honor.
We'll talk to you guys next month.
Outtakes.
David Martin, Putin farting.
Andrew,
David Martin,
if you could
Putin
remember
farting.
not to breathe into the microphone the entire time, that'd be great. So bad.
I'm just trying to turn you on, Adam.
Nailed it.
Whistling booger.
I did have a whistler the other day. It was brutal.
You did. It was killing me.
I can't hear it because I've lost all my high-pitched hearing. I can't hear anything that's high-pitched, so I couldn't hear it at all. I had no idea. I was sitting there just
It's like, Andrew, go blow your nose. And I got all the A's here with me today. Adam, Andrew, and Art. Triple A. Triple A, baby.
Hey, do you know what the rate of fire is on that NAC 9?
I'm guessing it's going about 800 rounds per minute.
Yeah, I believe that's right. Between 8 and 850.
Yeah, depends on if you use 115 or 124 or 147. It'll change the speed. Somewhere between 0 and 50 rounds per minute. So, you notice it shot a lot faster with that 124 than it was with the 115.
Okay, lead heads. No. Do what? What?
was hard for me to be quiet for 5 seconds.
Oh, you fucker.
Deuces.
Stay locked and loaded and your head on a swivel.